Hey kids, Becca and I are here today to give your kids' church message for you. And it's a message that Jesus actually gave to his best friends, the disciples, in the Gospel of Luke.
That's right. Today we're going to be talking about something that we've probably all struggled with at some time in our lives. Fear and worry.
It's Fun Fact Guy! Hey kids, Fun Fact Guy here. Fears are called phobias. And there's a fear called haphophobia. It's the fear of being touched. Did you know that?
So the passage today is from the Gospel of Luke, chapter 12, verses 22 through 31. And if you have your Bibles, you can follow along with me. And he said to his disciples, "Therefore I tell you, do not be anxious about your life, what you will eat, nor about your body and what you will put on. For life is more than food, and the body more than clothing. Consider the ravens. They neither sow nor reap. They have neither storehouse nor barn, and yet God feeds them. Of how much more value are you than the birds? And which of you, by being anxious, can add a single hour to his life? And if you are not able to do a small thing as that, why are you anxious about the rest? Consider the lilies, how they grow. They neither toil nor spin, yet I tell you, even Solomon in all of his glory was not arrayed as well as these. But if God so clothes the grass, which is alive in the field today and tomorrow thrown in the oven, how much more will he clothe you, O you of little faith? And do not seek what you are to eat or to drink, nor to be worried. For all of the nations of this world seek after these things, and your Father knows that you need them. Instead, seek his kingdom, and these things will be added unto you."
Whoa, Jesus talks a lot about not being worried and not being anxious because he's with us and he'll provide for us. That's pretty awesome. But I know I sometimes still feel scared.
I'm back! Fun Fact Guy, here with another fun fact. Did you know that there are 366 fear nots in the Bible, which is for every single day, and one for leap year? Kind of cool.
So in this passage, Jesus gives us some pretty amazing promises. He promises us not to be anxious because he's always with us. He promises that just like he feeds the ravens, he's going to make sure you and I have food to eat. He promises that just like he makes sure that the lilies of the field are clothed and beautiful, he loves us even more so, and he'll make sure we're taken care of too.
Did you say ravens? Ravens reminds me of this story from the Old Testament about Elijah. I think it was in 1 Kings 17.
I know Elijah. He was this amazing prophet of God. He did some pretty remarkable stuff. I bet he was never scared or worried.
You might be surprised.
Fun Fact Guy here, just came from the ground. Did you know that the fear of being in public is called agoraphobia? That's crazy. But because we can't really go anywhere, those people are having a pretty nice time. I'll see you next time.
So Elijah had a really hard message that he was supposed to give from God to the evil king and queen, Ahab and Jezebel. They were not very good people. They lived terrible lives and were leading the people of God away from the worship of God. So God told Elijah to go tell Ahab and Jezebel that because of how evil they were, he was going to send a drought for 3 years. And no rain for 3 years means no food.
Elijah must have been so scared. He knew that no rain meant no food, which would make Ahab and Jezebel really, really mad. So he ran away and he hid by a river, right?
Mm-hmm.
And not only did he run and hide by the river, but God provided food for him by the ravens, which was what made me think of the story that Jesus told in Luke.
Yeah.
He must have got really hungry when he was hiding because he couldn't go anywhere. But God provided for him, just like he provides for us, right?
Absolutely. And when that river dried up that he was hiding beside, he went into town and he was hungry and he saw a widow. Now that widow, she was gathering sticks to bake her last little piece of bread that she had, and Elijah asked if she would be willing to share her bread with him. I'm sure she was worried because she was down to her last little bit of flour and little bit of oil. But on faith, she went ahead and baked bread for Elijah. And as long as she kept feeding Elijah, God miraculously provided, and she never ran out of flour and she never ran out of oil. For the rest of that drought, she, Elijah, and her son never went hungry.
Whoa, that's amazing. But that wasn't the only time that God gave Elijah a scary job to do. You see, God also had Elijah go and fight the prophets of Baal. You see, he had to come against the people who were worshiping him, because God is the only true God. And God, of course, defeated the prophets of Baal when he sent lightning down from heaven and burned up the altar that was covered in water. We know that fire and water do not mix, not at all. But God sent lightning and burnt the entire altar up. It's an amazing display of God's power. But it made Queen Jezebel really, really mad. And so Elijah had to run away again and hide again, this time in a cave on a very special mountain far, far away.
And while Elijah was in that mountain, he got lonely, really lonely. And he told God how lonely he was. And you know what God did? God showed himself to Elijah. He showed up in a very real way. Now, you might think that God would show up in a mighty rushing wind, or maybe a powerful earthquake, or a great big ball of fire. But he didn't. God showed up to Elijah in a still, small voice, almost a whisper. Like this. Yes. And God let Elijah know that Elijah wasn't alone. God was there with him. Not only that, after Elijah came out of the cave, God sent a special friend for him to be his partner in his ministry, named Elisha.
Fun fact guy here again for another fun fact. Did you know that the mountain that Elijah went to and the cave that he hid in was called Mount Horeb, but it was also known as Mount Sinai, where Moses got the 10 Commandments from God. How cool is that? See?
Elijah had to trust God when things got really scary and he was afraid. Maybe you felt scared too. But we want to practice not being scared today. Sometimes we get scared when maybe it's something we don't understand, something we don't know, or when we're falling. There's always someone there who can trust. So we're going to trust our parents. So what we want you guys to do is we want you to fall backwards and have your parents catch you. Warn them when you're about to fall backwards. No, I'm falling, and then expect them to run from the other room to catch you. Remind them when you're going to do it. Emmett's going to show us how to do it just now.
Coming up to trust fall bat, Emmett Schrock. He comes up, takes the turn, arms up, eyes closed, steps back. Wait for it, here it comes, and he's falling. Cut!
All right, guys, so it's time for our challenge for this week. We want you to do a trust fall just like Emmett did. So ask your parents to help you. I would suggest your parents and not another sibling, just in case. But do a trust fall with them, have them record it, and then post it to social media with the hashtag TBC Ohio Kids and tag the Branch Church Ohio.
And our second challenge is a memory verse from Isaiah 41:10. It says, "Fear not, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." We want you guys to practice saying it and also upload it to social media using hashtag TBC Ohio Kids and tag at Branch Church OH.
One last thing. In the description of this video, we'll have linked to 2 RightNowMedia videos. The first one is a great little story about some owls who have to overcome their fear of bugs. And the second one is about a more modern day Christian who had to live in a really scary time to be a Christian. Her name is Corrie ten Boom, and she had to learn to rely on God and trust Him fully through some really hard stuff. So we hope you enjoy those videos, and we'll see you next week.